Hello everybody, happy Tuesday. I hope you're well, hope everyone is good. I'm a little bit tired, I have to say. It was a long old day. I've had just I've had a busy few weeks. And yeah, it was a really long day yesterday. It took me a ridiculous amount of time to get home yesterday. There was a big accident on the M5 and I was stationary for 45 minutes. It was delicious. So a little bit tired today, but we are busy in the shop, sorting some stuff out, getting ready for Newton Abbot. Thank you to everybody who watched yesterday on the craft store. It wasn't too bad. It was really nice to be up back at the studio. Actually, it was really strange but nice. Not incredible amount of sales, I have to say, which was a bit of a shame. But it was nice to do some demos and be back up there. And we will see about whether we do it again or not. We're in talks with some stuff at the moment. So we're also busy getting ready for Sewing Street because that's going to be with us before we know it. We're on March the 15th on that one. So yeah, that's going to be busy. Off to Newton Abbot on Thursday. So we're down at the Newton Abbot show on Friday. It's open to the public Friday and Saturday. It's not Sunday. It's just Friday and Saturday, okay? It's all right. Somebody said to me, oh, we're going to come see you on Sunday. I was like, we won't be there because it shuts on Saturday. It's Friday and Saturday, Newton Abbot Racecourse, okay? I think tickets are still available in advance for a discounted rate if you go onto the Grosvenor Show's website, and you can get tickets for that. And then we're back for a week, and then the following week, we're off to Glasgow. Hi Eileen, hello my love. So yeah, we're off to Glasgow then the following week because we're going to do the Glasgow show. So that's going to be fun too because I've never been to Scotland. All my strong Scottish ancestry and I've never been. So hi Caroline, hello lovely. We are going to do a really simple little block today. We're going to have a go at orange peel, which I'm going to show you the method that I like to use. There are lots of different ways of doing this. You can do them as insets like we're doing the group quilt. Thank you to everybody who's sent in their group quilts, blocks so far. I've had 19 in. Anna's made me a list. I will put the list up on Gigglers probably this evening, just to let you know that we've definitely had those blocks. We've had 19 in so far. So yeah, if you signed up for a group quilt block and you haven't got it into us yet, please do think about getting it into us relatively soon. You've got till March. I need them all in by March the 15th. If I haven't had them by the 15th, I'm going to have to start saying to people who didn't get a chance to do one, do you want to make one and do one quickly? Because I need 65 for the design. So if you had a group quilt block pack, please get them into us, okay? Because we've got to obviously have time to put it all together and get it into Malvern. So yeah, it's just non-stop at the minute. It's go. So we're going to do orange peel today. I'm going to do the turned applique method, which I have shown you before, but not with this style. So we're going to have a little go at that. Lynn, you got your fabric today. Brilliant, fabulous, amazing, that's good. Hi Lindy Lou. So we're going to do it this way. You can do it lots of different ways. So you can do it fused applique with bond web or heat and bond. You can do it as inset. You can there's lots of ways, but I quite like this method. Okay, so yeah, I will. We're going to have a go at turned applique today. Tina, you're picking mine up from on Friday, so you'll do it as soon as you can get it to you. Yeah, no problem, lovely. That's absolutely fine. As long as we've got them all back by the 15th of March for the group quilt, we've got time to get it done. Okay, so. Let's whip over to the overhead. So orange peel, I did just one really quickly just to double check the sizing. Now the pattern that I'm using, the template that I'm using isn't mine, guys, okay? This I got off the internet. I got it off Pinterest. I will post a link to where I got this from. It was a free download, okay? And it actually gives you 3 different sizes for your orange peel segments, okay? So we're going to use the 5-inch one today because we're going to work with a charm pack, all right? And so I'm going to use the 5-inch one, but you have got other ones on here. Like I said, Eileen, I sent you an email, sent it yesterday. I've just replied, lovely. I've just replied to your email. I did get it this morning, love. So yes, fab. Hi Grace, hello lovely. I won't forget to bring your order. It's all packed, ready to go, lovely. we're going to have a little go at orange peel. I really like this method. I like turned applique. I think it gives a really nice clean edge. It also means if you're a hand sewer, you can do this by hand and stitch it on, or we can do this on the machine if you want to. And there's lots of different ways we can do this on the machine. Okay. You can use a charm pack, and you can use some as your background squares, and then you can use others as this bit, okay? Or you can cut yourself background fabric, and you can do that and then use all the charm pack just as the peel section. So we're going to go through how you're going to do it. You'll also need some lightweight, either really sort of light or ultra lightweight interface, fusible interfacing for turned applique. This has got glue one side and it's smooth the other. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around on the interfacing. So I've got the fused side down, and I'm going to draw out this little orange peel shape. Okay, now if you're doing lots and lots of these, I would suggest getting a piece of some template plastic and making yourself a template from this, so that you can just put it onto the interfacing and draw around the template plastic. It's a lot easier, but because I'm only doing a couple just to show you how to do it, I'm going to carry on doing it like this. Okay, it's a really traditional, so I've got the glue side down, so I'm drawing on the soft side, and I'm just going to draw that shape out. Okay, now you can do this turned applique method with any shape basically. Okay, now obviously we're doing orange peel today, but this works for hearts, works for stars, it works for circles. If you're doing like Baltimore quilts and you need to do all those lovely, lovely, really precise little circles, this works really, really well. I enjoy this method of applique. It makes me happy. Okay, so I've drawn out that orange peel, and we're just going to cut it out a bit bigger. Okay, so you don't have to be precise. I'm just going to hack it out like that. Okay, you would draw out as many as you need. Okay, you're watching with Reggie. He's eating his lunch. Ollie's already scoffed his and got off to play. Oh, bless. Hi, Leslie. Hello, lovely. Now, I'm using charm packs, and if you're careful, you can actually get 2 orange peels out of, just by sort of angling it slightly. Okay, like that. I can actually get 2 orange peels out of each charm pack square, but I'm going to go with a different colour for now. Let's go with that blue. Let's go with that sort of tealy blue colour. Okay, and I'm going to just, I mean, if you put it like that, you've got it's edge to edge, which you don't want. So you want to just put it on as a slight angle like that, and it means you can get another one out of that side then, and you've still got your seam allowance. Now, this is where it's going to feel odd. Hi, Karen. Hello, lovely. You are going to put the glue side to the right side of your fabric. Okay, now whatever you do, don't put an iron anywhere near this at this point, all right? But the glue is going to go on the right side of the fabric. So if I was using a patterned fabric, let me find a pattern piece, okay? If I was using a patterned fabric, it would be glue to right side, not glue to wrong side, all right? That will become obvious in a moment, okay? So it's glue to right side. I know I've said that 3 times, but it does get people sometimes and they get all worried about it, but I promise you that's right. Okay, like that, and pop a pin in the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the machine, and we're going to stitch right on that line. Okay, we're going to stitch on that drawn line. Okay, something you want to do with your machine is you want to take your stitch length right down. Now I've got mine on 1.5. okay, because we're going to be turning it and manipulating it, you want a short stitch length. Okay, so I've got it on 1.5, but take it down low, and also really take your time and follow that line as precisely as you can, because the more accurate your stitch is, the better the shape will turn out, because this stitch line is going to be the end shape of your orange peel, or whatever shape it is you're doing. Caroline, it would feel strange. It really does. It feels like I can't put glue on the right side of my fabric, but you're not ironing it. You're just placing it there for now. Okay? So just take your time. And round you go. Like that. And when you get to any points, make sure you're stopping and pivoting nicely. Okay? If you're doing circles, I mean, this is quite a nice, easy, gentle curve. But if you're doing like small circles, 1 or 2 stitches and then turn, pivot and turn, pivot and turn. Okay, so take your time with this bit. This is where you get the accuracy of the shape. That bit. Here we go, all the way around. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way and hold it all in place. Round we go this way and right to the end there. Okay, make sure you back stitch. You don't want any of this stitching to come undone. And clip your thread. Okay, back over here. Ooh, throwing it around. Take that pin out, and then you want to cut this out with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now, I like to cut them out with pinking shears. Okay, pretty nails. Thank you guys. Ah, thank you. Yeah, Meggie did them for me. So I've got daisies, and then I've got the matching colour on this side. I thought they were really sweet. Really liked them. I like to cut out with pinking shears. I think it makes it turn through much, much easier because you haven't got to clip any of your curves then as well. So if you cut them out with pinking shears about 1/8 of an inch away from that seam allowance, it saves a lot of clipping later. Okay, so up to the top there like that. And again, an iron hasn't touched it at this point. Please don't let the glue fuse to the right side of the fabric. At the moment, it's all just stitching. And like that. Okay, so I've cut that out with pinking shears. And you can see I've got enough there that I can actually get another one like that out of it. All right, so I keep those ones to make more blocks. All right, or cut them down and use them for something else. Next thing you want to do is you want to make a little snip in the interfacing. Okay, so you want to make sure you're pulling this apart. Come on, I can't get my fingers to work. There we go. Pull it apart and make a little snip in the interfacing. And I then like to cut a little square, a little cross like that. It doesn't need to be huge, but this is going to be against fabric, so it doesn't matter. Okay, like that. And then we're going to pull the whole thing through that gap. All right, so we're going to turn the whole thing right side out. Hi Heather, how are you, love? Hi Claire, hello my lovely. Hi Cheryl, oh bless you. Oh, I know it's a pain when you can't get to do the thing you love, isn't it? So we're going to pull that all the way through. Okay, like that. And then you get your handy thang or turning tool or whatever it is you use, but still on my thangs. Did any of you buy them the other night? I know lots and lots of you looking. And then gently roll that. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm using the point to roll that and push out that seam. Okay, and then just gently turn out that point. Don't. If you do go through and it goes through the interfacing, it doesn't matter. But try and be gentle. And then if you run it down, and it doesn't have to be one of these, it can just be a normal turner, you know, whatever it is you use. But this is brilliant because it's such a nice little end on it. And then just gently, as you see, so I'm just rolling that down, that seam. And what that does is kind of finger presses it for me. Okay, again, no iron has touched it at this point. You don't want to touch it because the glue is now on the outside because we've turned it through. Okay, so you're having a sneaky watch from work. Hi Nikki, hope your day's going okay, lovely. Claire, you've got some, it's a great device. They really are, aren't they? Linda, you've got somebody, I've not used it yet. They're brilliant, I love them. So the glue, because we turned it through, is now on the outside, which is why it has to be on the right side when you're stitching. All right, so you would make lots and lots of these little petals. All right, you can then either use other charm pack squares, so I could absolutely use a charm pack square and we could applique it onto that, or I can keep all my charm pack squares for my colour and I can use some background fabric, which is what I'm going to do for today. Okay, so First things first, I've got a 5-inch, so charm pack size square, and then I'm just going to fold this in half diagonally and give it a gentle press. So I've got a guideline, okay, like that. So I've got that, can you see I've got that nice little guideline now? And then we can put the points on those guidelines like that. Now, you can, I kind of centralise it. If you want to, you can do that as well. So you've got a point and you can do this in half and you've got a point there, and it means that you can kind of centralise it there and centralise it there as well. Okay, so you can kind of centralise it. I tend to do them by eye. I tend not to bother with that one. I like that diagonal one, but you can do that little point there, so the little crease marks are on that centre too, so you know it's dead centre. Okay, sorry, move it up a little bit, there we go, that's better. Okay, then once it's in place, now you can iron it, and because the glue is now on the outside, it's going to just gently stick to the background fabric. So we're going to press and hold, press and hold, press and hold. Do that side, and then push that out that way. Just make sure that's nice and flat, and press and hold on that one. Oh, there we go. I just caught that one just a wee bit as I was ironing. Okay, there we go. So that's now stuck, not brilliantly, but stuck, because that interface has got a bit of glue on it to your background square. Okay, and you would end up you'll put 4 of these together and they become the orange peel. How you stitch this down now is entirely up to you. Okay, Caroline, you bought some things the other week. You started to use them more often now. I know, I love them. Leslie, you've bought some too. Yeah, honestly, you have a little go at this. It's a, well, have a little go, full stop, with these. They're genuinely brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant tool. How you stitch these down are entirely up to you. If you're a hand stitcher and you like hand stitching, you can just do a little invisible slip stitch all the way around here. Now you would choose the colour thread that matches your applique with that, and that's the same with any turned applique. If you're doing needle turn applique or turned applique like this, you always match your thread to the thing that you're applique in, not the background. Okay, and with that, have I got a needle there? Have I got a little needle anywhere? Have I got a needle anywhere? There we go. This is black, obviously you're not going to see it, you're going to see it. You take a teeny tiny little stitch behind, like that, okay, so it's just underneath. Now you're going to see this thread because it's not matching, okay, and then you come up in the seam, like that, right in the crease, and you just do a little invisible slip stitch. Okay, like that all the way around, and you can sit, if you're a hand sewer, you can absolutely sit of an evening and do that, and you just go all the way around and you stitch it to your background fabric. If you are not a hand stitcher, which I don't like doing it, I don't mind it now and then. There's some things I enjoy doing it, but I would make 5 of these and get bored. You can do it on the machine as well. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the machine and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can attach these to your background fabrics. Back over here. Now, easiest way is just a straight stitch. Okay, I'm going to leave white on so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and you're going to basically top stitch them into place. So we're going to go about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around, and you're just going to top stitch that in place. And again, I'm just concentrating on keeping the edge of the fabric right close to the edge of my needle, so I've got a really nice neat top stitch. Okay, I also, when I'm top stitching this type of thing, I keep my stitch small. Okay, so I'm going to go around like that, and when I get to the point, stop, pivot, and down this side. So I'm just going to partially come down this side so you can see. That, again, I would do that with a matching thread as near as I can, and it will be barely noticeable. So if I come back over here, obviously I've used white for you to be able to see it, but that, if that was in a hot pink, you would barely see that, and that would stitch it all down and keep it all nice and neat. We can absolutely do a blanket stitch on these, so I'll do a blanket stitch. But there's no reason as well why you don't use you could use a zigzag or a satin stitch as well, okay? Or any of your decorative stitches to attach this on. This is a really nice one to play with some decorative stitches. So I'm going to go back to the machine and we'll do a little bit of blanket stitch and we'll do a little bit of satin stitch, which is a really close zigzag, and I can show you the differences, okay? So blanket stitch. So sorry, you're just going to bear with me while I go to my blanket stitch. There we go. So blanket stitch, again, neat machine blanket stitch is all about learning the rhythm of your machine. We've talked about this lots and lots before. And it's about the rhythm of your own machine. Now my machine, it comes forward one, it jumps in, it jumps back, it comes forward one, jumps in, jumps back like that. Okay, so I know the rhythm of this machine. Work out what your stitch pattern is, okay? And I don't know if you can see, but my needle is sat not in the fabric, it's sat on the edge of this fabric. So the straight bit of the blanket stitch, the flat bit, will be running alongside this. You don't want it to sit in the fabric. The only bit that wants to sit in the fabric is when it jumps in, okay? So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of that for you, so you can see what that looks like. Now again, I've got this on a small little diddy blanket stitch, so if I stop there, what I'll do now is I'll do a bigger blanket stitch so you can see the difference. Okay, I prefer smaller pieces of fabric, smaller designs. So if I'm doing teeny tiny little circles, I would do a very, very small blanket stitch. Okay, so I'll just take that off and I'll show you that one. And you can have a little see what that, oh no, hang on, 5, there we go. Okay, so this was my little blanket stitch, which I quite like on this sort of shape, but you can do a bigger blanket stitch if you want something that is more, don't know if I'm in the right place, there we go, I think that's about right. You know, I've got a little tiny blanket stitch here, or I've got a bigger blanket stitch. If you want to see that stitching, go with something, oh no, hang on, I'm trying to get it in the right place, it's really hard. Okay, so you can see you could do blanket stitch it all the way around rather than straight stitch. Okay, the other thing you could do is a satin stitch, and a satin stitch is really popular with turned applique. And what a satin stitch is a zigzag, but really, really close together. So what I'm going to do is, now my stitch length on my zigzag at the minute is 1.5. I'm going to take it right down to 0.3. Okay, 0.25, 0.3, whatever your machine goes down to. And what that does is, so now what I'm concentrating on is I've got that little groove in my foot, which is my central position on my foot. All right, I want to keep that groove along the edge of this orange peel. So if I do that, what I'm going to do is, oh, hang on, no, I've done that. There we go, got it. So, and a satin stitch. Now, if you're going to satin stitch, I would suggest putting some interfacing on the back, and I'll show you why in a second. Now, satin stitch looks beautiful. I love satin stitch on applique, and it means you get no fraying whatsoever. Okay, but because it's such a small zigzag, really, really small zigzag, let me show you this now on the overhead. This is not going to show as well because it's white thread on white fabric, which doesn't help. But the small this is satin stitch, so it's a zigzag that's really, really, really close together. Nothing will fray on this. Okay, you'll get no fraying at all, which you can sometimes get with a blanket stitch. Okay, but the only thing you do get is a little bit of puckering. Now, what I would do if I'm going to do satin stitch is put some interfacing behind this. And if you put interfacing behind, it stabilises this, and you don't get, can you see I've got that bit of pucker in there? You don't get that pucker in then, okay, with satin stitch. It looks beautiful, and like maybe if you do like a gold or a silver, if you're doing some like your really beautiful metallic fabrics, things like that can look really, really nice. All right. The other thing you can do is just use a decorative stitch. So if I go over to this other one here, I'm just going to pick a decorative stitch. Let me have a little look, see what I've got that I could use. You could use something like that. Let me see. It's right, something like that one. Let's see if this one will work. Okay. Again, not having tried these out for a little while, I've just got to check whether this one's going to work. Oh no, that one's too heavy. Didn't realise that one was going to do that. So again, test all your little decorative stitches first. Just trying to find one that's not a really heavy. There's so many stitches on here. I'm trying to find one that's not a too heavy a pattern. What's that? Let's try that one. Don't know what that one is. Let's try that one. I think this is a... Because it's already stuck down with the interface in, I don't know if this one's actually going to work, but we'll give it a go. Oh, it might be quite pretty, and obviously not with a white thread, unfortunately. And again, what I'm concentrating on is keeping that groove on the edge so that the decorative stitch is level all the time. Okay. There we go. That's probably enough just for you to be able to see that you can use your decorative stitches as well. There we go. Oh, back over here. Okay, can you see? That first one was way too heavy. It was a really heavy one, but this one is actually quite a pretty little stitch, and you could do a decorative stitch all the way round. And you then make as many blocks as you want, basically. And then when you stitch them together, if I just quickly stitch that together, you make them into little 4 patches. They can all go the same way, like that. So you can have them all going the same way. You can have them so you do like 2 like that and then 2 like this, so that when they come together, they're almost like a little daisy. You can layer these up as well. So I could, if I wanted to, do like the 5-inch one here, but then add in like a couple of little 3 ones, and they become really cute, like almost like tulips, because you get like a small one here and a small one here, so they're like extra petals. So there's lots and lots of things you can do. Once you've stitched that together, I'll just pretend I've stitched it like that. There you go. Okay, you then put another 4 there, and you get this lovely sort of orange peel design. It's a very, very traditional one, but there's lots and lots of ways you can do it. You know, I quite like a small blanket stitch. That's probably my favorite one for it, or just a straight stitch. But there's lots of ways you can make it your own. And again, I'll put a link up to the sheet, because this is a free download. So I'll put a link up to this, and it gives you all 4. It's from a company called itssoemma.com. It was on Pinterest. It was a free download that anyone can download, and it gives you all of them, and you can absolutely then play around with the different sizes and shapes and stuff on them. When you applique, you like to use an open-toe foot. Absolutely. Yeah, an open-toe foot's a really good idea. I do like the open-toe foot, Carolyn, for a lot of stuff, but I also really like the fact that on the closed toe, I've got that central groove on the foot, which obviously you don't have on an open toe, that I can keep. That's where I'm concentrating. I'm keeping that groove on there, because the machine's going to do what the machine does. You know, that needle's going to move how it's programmed to move. What I can control is keeping the edge of the fabric on that groove. So it's just what works out for me, though, lovelies. You know, you play with your machine, work out what you want to do. So have a little go at orange peel, and then let us know what stitch you like to use. How do you like to use? You know, what one do you fancy? I like the small blanket stitch. That appeals to me. And if not, I would just do a straight stitch. I don't like overly fussy stitching, but your decorative stitches can look really pretty. Lovely to revisit this technique. You always forget things. Absolutely. It's I haven't done anything on turn applique for ages, and I don't think we've actually done orange. We might have done orange peel. We probably have. We've been doing these for nearly 5 years now. In fact, in March it will be 5 years of us doing these 1 o'clock lives. We're probably going to be going over a few things in that time. But there's lots of new people all the time, so it's nice to just go back and have a look at some new stuff. So I'm going to go because I've got lots and lots to do with the shop. In the shop, we've got to try and get ready for Newton Abbot, so I'm going to take some boxes back over with me. If anybody's come into Newton Abbot and they've ordered and you want us to click and collect, like Tina said, just let us know. If you order before tomorrow, we can bring it to the show with us, and you don't have to pay postage then. Just put click and collect in. You think your foot has a mark on it, something on it. It might do. My open toe doesn't, so that's why I tend to prefer the closed toe. But again, learn your own machine, play around with your own machine, and see what works best for you. So that's it for me today. We have got what's the word? Quilt along. Couldn't think of the word quilt then. Dear God. Quilt along tomorrow. We're going to be tackling those curves. Okay, we're going to be tackling those curves on the quilt along tomorrow. So don't be scared. I promise you, it's easy. Promise, promise, promise. Didn't we have to do a panel on the Stitch Pink quilt? Oh, yes. Yeah, there was applique. I think we did turn to applique on that, very possibly. Oh, that's some years ago. I can't remember what I did yesterday at the moment, darling, let alone what I did 3 or 4 years ago. My brain's like... 17 plates like that spinning at the moment. I'm trying to keep them all in the air. Right, I will see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock for week 3 of the quilt along for the bathhouse. Take care, my darlings. See you later.